Meadow Farm. Well, Heidi has been playing with Hunky Dory's Meadow Farm. Now, this collection has many pieces, and we'll be sharing that with you. The large deco has pieces that get foam taped one on top of the other. You can kind of see all the pieces here. There is a base piece that I haven't shown you. These are foiled, they are die cut. You just pop them out, and you go with the biggest one, and then the next largest, and on down the line. And there are some tricks to this, and Heidi's had a wonderful time and is going to share all of that with you. So please come play with us. Well, as I said, the Meadow Farm has several pieces. So there's the large deco topper collection. I'll show you that. Then there are also inserts. Now there are 3 each of 12 designs for a total of 36. So that's going to go very nicely. There's also this little book of Meadow Farm, and this has 144 pieces in it, so great. Then of course we have coordinating adorable scoreable cardstock, and that's going to make sense. Now, because these make a raised card, Hunky Dory has a couple of things to make that easier, especially if you want to mail these. This is deep square and rectangle boxes, and Heidi has used those. Then there's also a box frames. They're in square and rectangle, and they fit inside the boxes if you choose. They also have a foiled top to go around that frame, so that's really nice. And finally, there are 2 stamps. There are the 4 little piggies, and there's also a cozy catnip, and we've got a little duck with the kittens. So all of these together, but let's get into our projects. And we'll start with one that is using that box and the frame. So how fun is this? You really get a reveal as you open that up. So here is the frame, here is the box, and let me just start with the box. They come die cut, of course, they are scored, and you will need the extra sticky tape, so that tape with the liner, and we recommend that you put that tape toward the score line on the tabs, okay? That way, when you bring them in, well, first you're going to want to fold all of those in, so all of those score lines, including the lid and including the top of the lid, okay? So it makes it nice that it's one piece. So then you add the tape, you can remove it, and simply fold this over, just like that, and it secures it down. And because it's got those couple of layers of paper, it becomes very sturdy. Do the same thing on the other side. So we'll start with the box because that's what Heidi started, and what she used is the insert, and we are finding more and more that those inserts can do lots of double duty. So she took the, well, you can see that these little puppies are called walkers. There's a little word on the foiled and die cut pieces, and that's what it says. And she took the matching insert and cut it and glued it onto the inside of the lid, and that worked well. And that was this part, and then the other part of it she cut and glued onto the inside of the box. So that makes a really nice home for the project. So let me show you this, and we'll get this out of the way. Okay, we can get in a little bit closer. And let me show you the frame. The frame this is the square frame, very much like the box in that it comes as one piece. You're going to fold everything in, all those layers. And let me just show you on one corner. So as I fold these, and again, I would recommend using the extra sticky tape along that outside fold. Then as I fold them, you're going to see that one corner is mitered, the other one is straight, okay? And what you can do is tuck the straight one into the miter, and you have a very clean edge, especially if it will do what I ask it to do. Okay, there we go. So it just folds in, as you can see. So that's a nice way to do it, and it gives you a very clean edge all the way around. So like I said, you just bring them in and then tuck them into the mitered edge. So you can see 2 of those. And this is why you would want to put the extra sticky tape. So because this is going to pop up, well, it will pop up as it sits for very long unless you have it taped down. Now, as I said, Heidi began with this piece, and before she folded it, she took the lavender adorable scorable and trimmed it to fit on the inside of the frame, okay? So you might want to do that before you fold it up, so that would work nicely. Then she used, so you can see that the purple that's showing there. And then this is the adorable scorable that's going to match the base layer as well as all of the die cut pieces, okay? So all of those match, and of course they match with the insert, which is exactly what you would expect. So what she used on top of the purple is this area, because she wanted to use the layers to do her foam taping. So this circle is going to go on top of this, but first you want to cut it to go inside. Now the measurements, you know, the measurements are down below in the gallery. Everything is there, so that just makes it easy. So you can see the circle and you can see how it is foiled. It just makes a really nice circle within this square, and that's always a nice idea. So the corners are right here, and so those 4 corners simply get glued to the corners of the printed adorable scorable. The circle gets glued down flat, and then she took these pieces and layered them with foam tape. And just like I said in the beginning, you're going to take the biggest piece, which is generally at the top of the sheet, and you can see that this is bigger. It has that stone wall than this one. Then this becomes the next one. Then we've got the 2 dogs, the 1 dog, part of the dog without a tail, and then we've got the other pieces. So they get foam taped on, and you can see them all right there. And if you use all of them, you can see it becomes pretty thick. So that's probably a good 1/2 inch. And that's why they provide the frames and then the boxes to, if you want to mail this. So that's really nice. They are all sold separately, just in case you don't want them. Now, the other trick that I want to share is that you can duplicate what Heidi's done perfectly and use all the layers. If you want to, you might want to take like the biggest one and maybe some of the other elements and use that for a second project. So that's perfectly legitimate, and you're going to get a lovely look. Now, that happy birthday, that one right there, that's what she put on the lid. And then there is a with love, and I'll show you where she got that in just a moment. But let me bring in that frame again. And you see that foiled area on the top? How pretty is that? Well, that comes with those frames. In fact, you get a sheet in gold and a sheet in silver. Actually, you get several of them to match every single one of the frames. And so this just gets popped out and glued on top. It just really adds a nice finish, don't you think? Now, to decorate her frame, she did use from that base sheet wishing you a wonderful birthday filled with treats, which I think is really a fun play on dogs. And then she also has the thinking of you. Now that came from the other die cuts that are on the frame section. There is also this piece which becomes an easel, and you just fold it and it locks in place, and you can put it on the back of your frame to stand up. And that's what Heidi has done here. In fact, she used another one that says lovingly handmade for you. So there's the easel, and it can lock just by pressing this down, and it will stand up just like that. So that's a really nice benefit. So I think they've done a nice job of thinking of everything. Now, the other things that Heidi added onto her frame are some of the 49 and Market passion pink flowers. We are in love with these because you get so many sizes from 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches, and you can see that she's added them and attached the leaves also. And then just for a pop of color, she added the purple shimmer sparklets, and these are self-adhesive. So she's got them on the corners, not sure if you can see that, but also on the foiled pieces, and then down here also. So that becomes our very first project. Now that's the square. Now in her next project, Heidi did the rectangle box. So let me open this up correctly. And she did a similar look. So we're going to go into, because this is Meadow Farm, we have cows. Heidi's from Wisconsin, so she knows about cows. And this is the box. Again, it is the rectangle. And you can see that she did a similar thing in that she's going to use all of these products. So here is the insert, and she simply used the area that is going to fit in that box very nicely and glued it in place. You might want to do that before you fold your box up or after, your choice. You've got the measurements down below in the gallery. Now for here, she has used the adorable squirrel that's printed, and she used the 2 edges, and you can see one of them, well, probably helps if I turn it around like that, okay? So right there, and then the other one right down at the bottom. So that's fun. Because this was a birthday, she chose to take the script dazzles. Now there are 500 pieces in the script dazzles, so you get the dazzle words, in this case happy birthday. Now the happy and the birthday come separately, so you can layer them, or excuse me, you can have them go extended just like this, and that works nicely. You may want to draw a very light pencil line there with a ruler, just that way you can get them placed perfectly, and they're going to link up just like it shows here. And within those 500 script greetings, there are little icons. So there's hearts, there's stars, there's flourishes, there's flowers, and that's what she's used to connect her words. So happy birthday, happy. So that is what's going to be our frame and our box. But let's get into our card. Now for this, Heidi has taken our regular cards, and you know they measure 6.5 by 5, and she took this same piece of adorable squirrel that's printed that comes in the Topper collection, and she used this and cut it right here. So you've already used the edges, but you've got this area, and you can see exactly how it's going to fit with that barn in the horizon back there. And so you're going to cut into the trees, cut into the cows. So then what's going to happen is that you can mat that on the dark green adorable squirrel. And then we're going to go into the Topper set. Now, just like the first one, you have a base layer. In fact, that's what it's called right here. It says the Farmyard base layer. And that base layer can be used. She used it with the dogs, but she did not use it this time. Instead, she went straight to this piece. Okay, so you can mix these up. And in this particular kit, there is not an idea sheet, because everything really becomes self-explanatory when you look at the base layers. And if you go to the product page at paperwishes.com on Meadow Farm Large Deco Kit, I walk you through all of the different scenes and animals that are in this kit, so you get a chance to see every single one of them. So what she did here is that she started with this and then built them up just like earlier. Okay, but she did go back to the base layer and used this piece. I heard H-E-R-D. It's your birthday, have a wonderful day. Very cute. Now she did add some flowers and some ribbons. So the ribbon is from our orange and peach collection. And so you can see she chose the gingham. But then she went into some products that we've had for a while. And these are the paper roses in peach and the orange flowers. And she just used them here. So that just created just a bit of texture and a bit of color. On the inside of her card, well, that's where she used that base layer. As you can see, it's right there. The corners she used also. Of course, I failed to mention that she used the same green adorable scorable that she matted on the front, so she used it in the back and just simply covered that card. The other thing that she used, there is a border. So love and best wishes. There's also another one with chickens. So she chose the love and best wishes and added a coordinating ribbon that she used on the front. And that just took care of this very, very nicely. Now, there is another card. Whoops. And it's my note. And in this one, she started again with our regular cards that are 5 by 6.5. And in this case, she is going to use that little book of Meadow Farm, okay? And in this, she first began by cutting 1/4 of an inch off of the long side of her card, okay? So instead of being 5 by 6.5, it's 4 3/4 by 6.5. So that just took care of that for her. Now, she went into that little book and she got the barn owl. Now you get them in a vertical presentation and you also get them in a horizontal presentation. So that's kind of nice, lets you do whatever you want. And in this case, she simply matted this on 2 of the adorable scorable, on the green and the brown. So that's what she used, so picking up the colors that are going on in there, and simply glued that to the front of her card. Now, she also took some of our dazzles. Now, these are the fantastic frames and phrases, and there are, they come in a lot of different colors. The Thinking of You, let me open this up. It's got my notes. It's got 8 sheets. There are 2 different dies in here, and there are 512 pieces. So you can see all the colors that they come in. So red, blue, black, white. And here we go. That was 1 sheet, and this is the 2nd sheet. So this is the sheet that she used, and she chose the gold pearl. So you can see this oval. Now, she placed it onto white cardstock. Now, if you've got white cardstock, that's fine, but the other thing you have is on the back of all of the adorable scorable solid, you have white because they're printed on one side. So you may not have to buy anything else. So she simply placed it on top of the adorable scorable or onto white cardstock. And when you do the dazzles, they're just going to lift up just that easy, okay? So these all have frames. Then you want to cut around the edge of the dazzle. And we really recommend scissors like this. They have a short blade. You can see it's just right here. It's just about 1.5 inches long. So these are titled 4.5-inch professional scissors, and they do a good job. You can use embroidery scissors if you've got them straight. You kind of don't want them to curve, but that will work too. Then the Thinking of You and the Dragonfly, those are additional pieces that are right there, and so she added those. She put foam tape on the back of this, but before she attached it, she used the gold and silver ribbon set. And this is a typical thing that Heidi does. She likes to cross her ribbons, and isn't that pretty? And then she put the foam tape on top and then added an extra bow. Now on the inside, she went back to her solid cardstock and cut a piece to go on the inside. And then in that little book, you get several sheets of every single piece of art. And in this case, what Heidi did is to cut around the owl, and you can see that she cut right around. She left the leaves, but she cut away that barn piece and simply glued it right down, and it's a very, very striking. Now the hello is part of that Dazzle collection, so you don't need to get anything else. And again, the ribbons, you can see that she has crossed them. Then she took another piece of ribbon and simply tied where those two crossed. And it's just a really, really striking card. Now, every now and again, we're really looking for masculine cards, and this collection of Meadow Farm would do the trick. Okay, now as I mentioned, we have some stamps, and I gave Heidi her choice of what she wanted to color, and she chose this 3 little piggies, or 4 little piggies. Now it might be a little hard to see there, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And she elected to do something different, which I always appreciate. Now again, going onto the white cardstock or on the back of the adorable scorable, she stamped those piggies with silver. Now because the silver is a pigment ink, that means that it's going to attach embossing powder to it. So we used Stampendous' clear embossing powder on top, just spread it on and then shook off the excess, and then used a heat gun to melt that embossing powder so you get a clear look on top of the silver. Then she went in to our trusty tri-blend markers, and the colors are in the gallery, but you can see that she used the pinks for the pigs, a light, a medium, and a dark, green for the flowers, or green for the leaves, and red for the flowers. Excuse me. And then she used some of our heart dazzles, which I think is a really fun choice, to have some hearts around those cute little piggies. Now, this whole piece is done, and then she wrapped some ribbon. Again, she did 2 ribbons, and this of course is out of the ribbon set. And then she took 2 other ribbons and wrapped them and tied them where those ribbons crossed. So that piece is then done. Now she went to our 5 by 6.5 inch card. She cut a piece of the pink adorable scorable, and here it is, and glued that down. And then she took 2 of the 4-inch paper doilies. I think these come in 20 in the package, so there's plenty there. Placed them, as you can see, one on each side. She also did something different where she put this red adorable scorable from that same set, everything's there, and offset it. So that's kind of fun. And then the doilies, and then glued this piece down. So that takes care of it. Oh, the Hello Friend. The Hello Friend comes from our, let's see, this is the We're Together, and this has 2 sheets, 1 stacked greetings and 1 script greetings, and she just pulled out the Hello Friend to give us a message, so you could use anything. And then on the inside, she went back to the inserts, and the inserts have some piggies, these same little guys, glued that down. And I thought this was fun. So she took another doily, glued it down, and trimmed the excess, and then Miss You Pig Time, which is also part of that stamp set. And it's also Life is Better with Friends. So it's fun to have some greetings to go with them. Added some more of those little hearts, and that took care of it. Just really cute. So down on the farm, we've got Meadow Farm, the little book. We've got 2 stamps. We have the frames and the boxes. And then we have the adorable scorable, the inserts, as well as the large deco Meadow Farm. So all of this collection is available now. And Heidi, great job as usual. Thank you so much. And there is a money saver. Of course there's a money saver over on the right side of your screen. We so appreciate your joining us. And please leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you think about going to the farm in in the middle of summer. If you're watching this on YouTube, please head on over, join us. We'd love to have you. And as always, thank you for being the best part of paperwishes.com.